Kia ora koutou and welcome to the Southern Business Growth and Support Virtual Conference. My name is Angela Caves. I'm the Digital Events Manager with Digital Boost. It's a pleasure to bring this conference to our Southland and Southern business community. Today we're going to be hearing from the Inland Revenue and I'm going to get my collaborating partner Benji to introduce our spokesperson shortly. A quick recap on where we're at with the conference. We're in day 3, our final day. We've had a great 2 days with our other sessions. So if you missed any of those and you'd like to watch them again, hop onto the Digital Boost YouTube channel and you'll be able to find a playlist there of all the sessions we've held throughout this conference. Up this afternoon, after we wrap up with the IRD, is business.govt and employment.govt. So we do welcome you into those sessions as well. My pleasure to introduce Benji from Connected, who's going to take us through how the session is going to run and then introduce our presenter for the afternoon. Thanks, Benji.
Cool. Thanks, Ange. I'll just take over there. So, tēnā koutou katoa. Hello, everyone. My name is Benji Ada, and I'm an Employment Liaison Advisor for Connected, based out of sunny Otipoti, Dunedin. I just have a couple of webinar housekeeping things to touch on. So throughout the session, you are able to see and hear from our panel of presenters, but we are unable to see or hear you. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions throughout the session, please feel free to drop them in either the comments or the questions and answers box, which can be accessed at the bottom of your screen. At the end of the presentation, we will collate and ask these questions. So I'd just like to welcome Daryl Mataiti from Inland Revenue there today, who's going to take us through this session. All yours, Daryl.
Cool. Thanks, Benji. All right, I'll just share my screen. Does that look right, Benji? Cool, thank you. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. As Benji said, my name is Daryl Mataiti. I work in community compliance at Inland Revenue. I started back in 1995, so I've been in Inland Revenue for over 27 years. My current role is as a community compliance officer, and I came into this role in 1999, so it's been about 23 years in this current position that I'm in. Quite a big part of our role as a community compliance officer is education, and so that's where we fit in presentations and conferences like these. We're kind of like the face of IRD and have a lot of contact out in the community. So today I'm going to go through a bit of information on the services, resources that we have available for you. And yes, I am happy to look at any tax-related questions you might have towards the end. So I would encourage you, if you've got a question to ask along those lines, then yes, please send it through the chat. Okay. Here's the topics I'm going to work my way through. So I'll talk a little bit about what we call the one-to-many service that we offer in community compliance. So that's our workshops and our webinars. We also have a one-to-one service, which is our advisories, and that's where we can go through, we can organise appointments with you one-to-one to cover your queries. I'll talk a little bit also about our online services. So I usually find most people have a myIR account, not an online account. We'll just talk a little bit about what's in there, and then to finish up some information on what's available on the rest of our website and also our YouTube channel. In terms of our one-to-many service, we offer workshops and webinars. So our workshops, they cover 3 main topics. So you can attend an income tax one, and in there we go through information like how is your tax calculated, what sort of records should I keep, when is my return due, when is the tax due, that sort of good general information. We've got our GST workshop, and in there we'll cover information like when I'm registered, what does that mean for my invoices, what other sort of records should I keep, how are the different transactions treated in my GST return. So quite a practical workshop, that one. And we also offer an employer workshop. And then this one, we cover things like what happens for the tax side of things when someone new starts, how do I deal with KiwiSaver, PAYE, filing returns. So yeah, again, quite practical. These workshops are offered at a lot of the sites around the country. We have almost 350 staff in community compliance. Not all of us do the workshops. We have all sorts of different roles within the community compliance officer role. But yes, we have these workshops provided in a whole lot of sites around New Zealand. At the moment, they're all done virtually. Normally, we will book an office space and people come in and we deliver these in person. But with the current pandemic settings, yeah, we're doing these virtually through the Teams application is what we use in Inland Revenue. So if you're interested in attending one of these workshops, what you can do is register through our website, I'll show a screenshot soon, but through our seminars link, or you can try and contact us over the phone to register as well. The other one-to-many service that we have currently is our webinars. So unlike the workshops, which are usually delivered in person, face-to-face, these webinars are run virtually. We started them last year. It was around, I think it was around April, May last year. We had a trial. They were quite successful. People got a lot out of them. And so they have continued since then. At this stage, the webinar is just on the income tax side of things. Pretty much the same information as you would get in a workshop. The format is a little bit different though. What we do in these webinars is we play a recording. We have a 30-minute recording of the tax information, and then we have another 30 minutes of Q&A. And so at the end of the video, people can send through their chats and they ask questions, and yeah, we answer those at the time. So these workshops run for an hour is how they're timed, the webinars, and anyone can join from anywhere around New Zealand. They run currently every 2 weeks and in the evenings. So we have found that business people are quite busy during the day, and an evening workshop seems to work well for most. And so they're currently run at 7 o'clock at night. We are looking at expanding what we offer through our webinars, and hopefully in the next month and a half, they'll be a bit more regular. And we're also looking at bringing in GST as one of those as well. So like the workshops, if you'd like to register to attend, then again, the website is probably the best place, or you can also register through the phones. Now, to register on our website, if you go to the news and events link at the top of just about any page on our website and click on the drop-down menu, you'll see there's an option seminars. And so when you click on that, you can then go through the list of seminars that are available and click on that section, and you'll send and fill in a request form, which comes through to us to register you. For our one-to-one service, this is where we can meet with business owners who might be just starting out in business and not really sure what they need to do. It might be somebody that's been in business for a while and is now registering for GST or registering as an employer, and again needs some one-to-one assistance about how to set up their records, etc. So we do offer this advisory service again from all around the country. In the southern region, we have our Invercargill office and our Dunedin office, and we do also offer a service to the Queenstown area, Wanaka, and Arrowtown. The service offering there at the moment is a little bit restricted again because of the pandemic, but yes, we do offer a service also to those towns as well for those who are a bit more remote. And so there's no cost for this. And at the moment, we offer the service virtually. So Teams is the main application that we use. So we can contact you over Teams. Or if that's not available, we can also ring you over the phone and still give you the assistance that you need. So to request one of these visits, the best way again is through the website. So if you go into our website and you search Advisory, ADVISORY, then that will bring up a link around how to send through the request. Your request goes through to the local office, and we have a time frame of about 5 days to make contact with you and arrange a time that suits. So yeah, the website is the best way to arrange that. Otherwise, you could send us a web message through myIR, but we are actually, there's a lot of web messages that we're working through at the moment. So it might take a bit of time to get a reply, or else you could ring by phone. But yeah, the website is the best way to send that through. We also have a Kaitakawaenga Māori service. So for those community groups that might be part of the Māori community locally, might be kohanga, our Māori customers, I guess, community, if they would like a tailored Māori service, then yes, they can actually request to talk with one of our Kaitakawaenga Māori. We have one of those staff down in the Invercargill office, and also another staff member in Dunedin. And so they're mobile, they're able to actually travel when we're able to meet face to face, and to give a tailored service for those people in the Māori community that want to deal with someone in tikanga and in terms of te reo as well. So yeah, that's another service that we offer for those who would like to use that. In terms of online services, so as I said earlier, most people do have a myIR account these days. The facilities in there, the functions in there have improved out of sight over the last couple of years, especially as Inland Revenue has been going through our business transformation. And so we've brought in a new computer system in Inland Revenue, and that's also allowed us to vastly improve our myIR service. So in myIR, you have a login account, and you're able to update your details, your bank account, your phone number, your address. You can also file your returns. So if you're a business owner, you can do your end of year income tax return there, your GST returns, employer returns. I think one of the really good things about filing your returns online is that you know that Inland Revenue has received that return in real time. So if you decide to post returns in, then you just got to wait for the mail, and it'll get there to Inland Revenue eventually. But in terms of online returns, it updates really quickly, and you get confirmation that return has gone through. Also, if you have working for families or a student loan, KiwiSaver, you can also view your details through myIR for those as well. So that's quite useful. You can check on payments, make sure they've gone to the right place. Sometimes people aren't able to pay their tax on time. And so another facility in myIR is that you can put through a request for a payment plan. We call them installment arrangements. And so, yeah, if for some reason you can't pay your tax on time in full, then you can request a payment plan through myIR and you get an instant reply. So as long as it meets certain criteria, you'll get a reply to say, yes, that's fine, and you can set that up. And also, if you've got a query that you want to put to us and you don't want to ring in, then you can send us a web message as well through myIR. Currently, we do have a lot of web messages on hand. I think the COVID support payments have added to our workload this year, and we normally try and get through web messages within 3 weeks. At the moment, we are out to about 4 or 5 weeks There's a lot of work going on inside IR to catch up on those, but yeah, if you do want to send us a web message, it might take a little bit longer than we normally expect. So that's, yeah, some of the facilities services available through myIR. If you're not registered, then this is the place to go to on our website. Again, most of the pages in the top right, you'll see a register button. And if you click on that, that will take you through the registration process. To register, you will need your IRD number, an email address, and your for an individual account, your personal details, date of birth, etc. If you're looking at setting up a myIR account for your company, then you will need to have a link, a personal link to that company in the Inland Revenue system before you can set this up. So it's a director that can set up the myIR account for a company, and you need to have that director link for the company already in place to be able to set up that myIR account. Once you've got the initial link, if you already have a personal myIR, you can actually use that login to access your personal tax information as well as the company. But just important to know that, yeah, you've got to do that other step first. And yeah, the last little bit of information is around resources. So our website is there. We've got some quite good tax information in there. If you want to know a bit about GST, then yep, you can find information on sort of records to keep, what has to be on your invoices. We also have tax guides. One that I would suggest, I guess, or recommend for somebody who is looking at starting in business is our IR 320 Smart Business Guide, our IR 320. That's quite a good one. And we have lots of guides there covering employer taxes, KiwiSaver, GST, yeah, plenty of information. We do have some calculators and tools. So in terms of business owners, we have a depreciation calculator. So that's quite useful if you're needing to work out what you can claim for purchases of assets. And we also have an annual income calculator, again, for self-employed people, if they're wanting to do a bit of planning and have an idea of what sort of tax they might have to pay at the end of the year. What you can do is use the annual income calculator, put in an estimate of your profit, and it will tell you what the tax is, depending on whether you're a company or a sole trader. So yeah, quite a few tools there. And also we do have some videos. So I mentioned earlier for our webinars, our income tax webinar, we have a recording for about 30 minutes and then a question and answer time. We've got these recordings that we use in our webinars available on the website. And so you can go in there, you can look at the income tax information. I think there are 3 or 4 clips, around 6-7 minutes long each. And we've also got the recordings for the GST information and employer information. So if you go to that seminars page on the website, you'll see in there that the first link on that page is actually to the recordings. And if you select that link, yeah, you'll be able to view that information as well. So that's our website. And we also have a YouTube channel. So in there, we've got quite a few, we've got more videos there available on the YouTube channel, a whole range of information. A lot of it is the similar information to our webinars, but we go into a little bit more detail in our YouTube channel. So we've got some recordings specific to depreciation, to FBT. We've even got some on some of the other entitlements like working for families, etc. So it's well worth having a look there if there's some particular query that you have or a particular type of tax you want to know more information about, then they're probably quite a good place to start to give you some general understanding. So that's our YouTube channel under Inland Revenue. And yeah, that's the information I had to share Benji? Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that, Daryl. No, I know that so much support and information and resources there, which is great, because I know sometimes anything to do around tax or setting up a business can seem overwhelming, but as you've mentioned, there's so much support available if people just know where to go and look for that. So you've obviously got your online, and I know even your webinars and workshops, I've been to a few, and I can just say they were really great and informative. And I found just as informative was that question and answer time at the end, because quite often there are other people that are asking questions that you might not think of, but it's really good to hear their questions and think, oh yeah, that's something I actually was wondering about as well. So you really encourage everyone on here to go check those out as well. Speaking of questions, had a few pop up during the webinar there. So first question I have is, if I'm a sole trader, do I need to have a personal IRD number and also a business IRD number?
Yep, good question. The short answer is no. So when you set up your business as a sole trader, you will, I guess the main thing to do is to let IRD know that you've started in business as a sole trader. You can do that over the phone or myIR, and that will allow us to update your file so that you get the right tax return at the end of the year. Your business IRD number will be the same as your personal IRD number where you're a sole trader. So they will be one and the same.
Awesome, thank you. Another question here is, if you are registered as a business but operate as a contractor and you work from home, how can you work out what you can claim for as part of your business expenses with your GST returns?
Okay, so that sounds like it comes within the Home Office rules as far as the Inland Revenue side of things goes. If the person searches Home Office on the website, there's a lot of really good info there. In that IR 320 guide, Smart Business Guide, there's some good info there. What the person will need to do is they will need to do a calculation to work out what portion of their home costs can be included as a deduction in the business side of things. And so the start of that is to measure the floor space involved. So it might be a room, it might be part of the room, might be part of the lounge, etc. So you need to work out the floor space that's committed to business use and divide that into the space for the home. In most cases, we see that's a relatively small percentage. It might be 10%, 8% of the home is for business use. And then they're able to claim that percentage of some expenses. So it might be their rent, might be some of the rent, or it might be mortgage interest, rates, power, that sort of stuff. Some of those expenses will have GST. So if you're GST registered and you claim a Home Office, you'll be able to claim some of the power in the GST return, some of the rates and insurance in the GST return. But some of your expenses won't have GST, and that would be things like rent or mortgage interest. So yeah, there's a little bit of a calculation to do initially, and then you can claim some expenses in your GST return and also in your income tax return.
Awesome, thanks there. Well, I've actually just, when you're wondering about that, I've chucked the link to that page just in the chat there, so you can have a look at that. Next question is, does the IR website link in with my accounting software?
Okay, so the website itself, no. I do know that some software packages can link into the myIR account. So I think there's a couple like MYOB and Xero where, depending on the package you have with that provider, the software can automatically send through your GST returns and your employer returns without you having to do much at all. But other than that, no, there is no link back to the IRD website, not as far as I'm aware.
Cool, no, that's great. Thanks, Daryl. I know if there was anyone with questions along that as well, to do a quick plug there for Digital Boost will be great to check out those online applications where people can sort that out as well. Last question here, Daryl, I have is just, what are some common misconceptions or mistakes by both sole traders and SMEs that you see?
Yes, I can think of a couple that I see. Sometimes when someone is starting out a business, they will register a company and register for GST. People are under the impression that that's just what you do when you start in business. And then they might come in and have a chat with us, and we'll talk about what their plans are, the sort of operation they have, and we might find that actually this business could have been set up as a sole trader without GST, and it just means that the structure they've chosen and the registrations they've put in place have made things more complex than they need to be. I find that a lot of people are very good at their trade or the service that they're providing, but when it comes to bookwork and taxes, it's not always everybody's thing. And so I think if people can keep things as simple as possible to start with, that's always a good beginning point. And so I would suggest for people who are looking to start out, just make sure you do a bit of research before you set things up. It can pay off to have a chat with a professional. Also, there is the business.gov.nz website, and they have a simple series of questions which take you through what might be a good structure for you. Would it be better to be a company or a partnership or a sole trader? And so in our role, we often direct people to that website to try to go through that test as such. So yeah, I do think it's worthwhile people doing their research before they set things up, just to make sure that the way they're going to start off is the best for them, not to make it more complex than it needs to be. I think the other thing that I sometimes find is that people haven't kept sufficient records from the start to be able to claim all of the deductions and expenses that they should be able to claim. So I do think it's worthwhile keeping all the records that you possibly can right from the beginning, keeping all your invoices and receipts. And I think just making sure again that you think about talking to a professional to help guide you in the beginning. Sometimes people will ask us as IRD staff about, should I be a company? Should I register for GST? It's a little bit outside of our area of expertise. We can say, well, if you register as a company, this is what it means. Or once you're GST registered, you have to do ABC. But we're not able to give that professional advice. So yeah, I think do your research and consider talking to a professional to make sure things are done just how you need them to be from square one. It's often a bit more involved to change things after they've already been set up a particular way.
Awesome, that's really good advice. Thanks, Daryl. And if anyone on that note is after that kind of extra business advice there, we did have our videos which you'll be able to look back on from our local chambers, regional business partners, and later this afternoon there will be business.govt is speaking.
A good plug, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good plug straight into it, Daryl. So as you can see, everyone kind of works, connects in tandem there. So there's so much support available. So that is really all the questions there. Daryl, I just want to say thank you very much for jumping on and sharing your knowledge with us. It's obvious you got a wealth. You're the master of the IRD there, being able to answer those questions straight off the bat. So thank you very much for joining us today. And I'll pass off to Angela to finish off.
Thanks, Benji. Yeah, Daryl, with such a huge wealth of experience and knowledge behind you there. So IRD is very, very lucky to have you, and so are those looking to go into business and are fortunate to ask to meet up with you. if any of you forget anything in this conference at all, connections, contacts, bits and pieces, please reach out to our Connected team. So obviously we've got Benji here, who is based in Dunedin. We've got Claire from Invercargill and Elizabeth in Queenstown. So if you go away and you think, oh, I can't remember who that was, but I need to speak to them, just reach out to our Connected team and they'll point you in the right direction. And I think there was mention there of some of the accounting software that does link in with the IR's platform. So if you are looking to start that digital transformation, the Digital Boost platform actually has a whole series of training modules and information modules on the likes of MYOB and Xero. So please jump in there and have a wee look. If you're at the stage where you've already got a digital footprint and you're wanting to check the status of that and how you can improve your business with your digital footprint, please jump on and put your URL into Checkable, which is our new product, and we'll be able to help you on your digital transformation journey. Thanks again, Daryl, for joining us. Wonderful plug for our next couple of sessions. We've got employment.govt.nz up next, and then BT up this afternoon at 4 o'clock. So if you would like to join us for those sessions, please head over to Connected and register, and we'll see you there. Other than that, thank you for your time this afternoon. Have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Thank you.